I have an extraordinary opportunity to see some of the objects used and even some of the clothes worn by a man who millions of people around the world think of as God.
These are just a few examples, the few samples of what we are going to display.
Right. The retired acharya, or religious leader, at the Ahmedabad temple is building a museum to house these revered relics.
So these are things that obviously he used, he touched?
Yes, yes, these are the footprints.
Oh, I see.
Just an example.
Would devotees, if when they came to see him or if he visited their homes, would they ask,
yes,
can we have...
When he was very pleased with the devotees, he would just give them footprints. They worship it with great reverence. Footprints of Bhagwan Swaminarayan is something very unique thing for them.
I'm struck by the contrast between the digital extravaganza of the BAPS approach to things and the intimate, even modest, style of the Acharya tradition.
This is a Shikshapatri.
I'm shown a copy of Swaminarayan's key sacred writings. This slim volume was made for his own use, his whole philosophy distilled into one small book.
He took all the essence of all the religions, from Christianity, from Islam, from every good things from Jainism. He derived good principles from all the religions and put it into a nutshell. For example, the 10 commandments of the Christianity you will find in Shikshapatri.
All devotees of Swaminarayan read an extract from this sacred text each morning as they conduct puja, the daily act of worship.
In the morning we perform the puja, and during that puja we create that oneness with Almighty. We forget everything during that puja, and that is a time where if a person reaches that stage, he can even converse with God.
Dr. C.J. Patel is an exemplary member of the Swaminarayan sect, a landowner, an engineer, the chairman of a powerful educational trust, so a prominent figure in Gujarati society. His children and grandchildren have created successful lives in Britain and America, and they have maintained their faith in a foreign setting. Like many Gujaratis, followers of Swaminarayan have been travelling the world for the past 2 centuries, leaving behind their lowly status as tenant farmers, agricultural workers and the urban poor in the hope of making their fortune abroad. And a large number of these fortune seekers from Gujarat succeeded brilliantly overseas. The children of domestic servants became professionals, small shopkeepers became millionaires. As their fortunes rose abroad, so did those of their country cousins in India. Gujarat today has become one of India's richest states. And the wealth and influence of the Swaminarayan movement has expanded accordingly, along with its capacity to do good. Today, wherever there are Swaminarayan followers, there are schools and colleges, hospitals and disaster relief programs, all run in the name of their religion. More impressive statistics. BAPS alone has 55,000 volunteers who give 12 million hours of their time each year. Pramukh Swami, the leader of BAPS, whose life is faithfully documented by the organization's cameras, presides over both an international spiritual movement and a major charity. Pramukh Swami is an ascetic monk, a sadhu. Some of his most dedicated disciples consider him close to being a god himself, someone who can lead them towards moksha, salvation, and a place in heaven. Devotees believe that a blessing from Pramukh Swami also bring them great fortune on earth. And the public blessing will even advance their status in the eyes of others, sending out the message to everyone, here is someone you can do business with. I witnessed for myself the effect of this kind of spiritual and social power, not with Pramukh Swami, but with the Acharya Kushalendra Prasad at the Ahmedabad temple. This temple complex was founded by Swaminarayan 2 centuries ago. It was here that he established the direct line of dynastic succession that all acharyas follow. Understandably then, the Acharya considers himself to be closer to the origins of the faith, overseeing a more authentic branch of the sect than his BAPS rivals. But he is careful not to claim for himself any godlike powers.
We are not the goal. We are just persons who point the finger towards God. So if a person looks upon us with respect, is the position in which we are placed rather than personally. So if a person bows down to us or touches our feet, it's not us personally that is touching our feet, it's his feelings for the position that God has given. Because if we feel, or I feel, that he is touching my feet, and my ego is going to boost up, and which is injurious to me, and which is not healthy, and which is where all the religious heads start falling off.
I see another extraordinary example of this symbolic power when the wife of the Acharya sweeps into the temple. She is totally veiled, perhaps a better word would be tented, obeying Swaminarayan's command that women must be separated from men when they worship at the temple. Yet apart from this dramatic symbolism, the division of the sexes at Acharya temples has become quite relaxed in modern times, whereas the division of the sexes at BAPS temples is much more strictly followed. There is another crucial point of difference between the Acharya branch and BAPS. Pramak Swami and his supporters believe that a sadhu, someone who leads a celibate life detached from worldly possessions, has much greater spiritual authority than a leader who has merely inherited his position.
I get the sense from the Acharya and his father that they perform their inherited responsibilities with a certain air of reluctant good grace. I'm reminded of some British aristocrat who's come into a large estate and is not entirely sure that he deserves such privilege. The leader of the BAPS, Pramak Swami Maharaj, shows no such diffidence, easily balancing the role of guru and holy man with the duties of chief executive